Imagine a detention center where the roles of inmates and guards are reversed, where criminals behind bars wield more control than those tasked with keeping order. In 2013, a massive scandal at Baltimore City Detention Center shattered any remaining illusion of security within its walls. 25 individuals, including 13 corrections officers, were indicted on charges of drug conspiracy, money laundering, and racketeering, all orchestrated by the Black Guerilla Family gang. What federal officials discovered was more than corruption. It was a sophisticated operation that allowed BGF to run the facility from the inside. At the center of it all was inmate Tavon White, awaiting trial on attempted murder charges, who openly boasted, "This is my jail. Nothing happens here without my say-so." His intercepted calls revealed his powerful influence over BCDC, where his approval was required for anything from fights to drug deals. Far from being a confined criminal, White was a shot caller, controlling every move behind bars with a network of loyal allies among both inmates and guards. Investigators were stunned by the extent of BGF's influence. Between 2009 and 2013, the gang had built a smuggling empire that involved drugs, cell phones, and luxury items funneled in and out of the jail. With the help of compromised correctional officers, 13 female guards were implicated, and 4 were allegedly involved in intimate relationships with White, 3 of whom reportedly became pregnant. These romantic entanglements weren't mere flings. They solidified White's power, ensuring his control over the prison. White rewarded loyalty with lavish gifts, diamond rings, BMWs, and Mercedes cars purchased with gang money, creating a disturbing dynamic where guards became enablers rather than enforcers. Federal agents finally exposed the scale of this scheme through a series of raids in early 2013, uncovering stashes of oxycodone, hydrocodone, and marijuana, and confirming deep-rooted corruption. FBI agents reported that Black Guerilla Family essentially ran Baltimore City Detention Center as a safe haven for its operations. In this case, the inmates literally took over the asylum, one FBI official stated. The scandal highlighted the dangerous reality of a detention center where a gang's rules outweigh law enforcement's authority. Today on Chasing Crime, we're delving into Baltimore City Detention Center, a story of corruption and control that blurred every line between authority and anarchy. Baltimore City Detention Center stood as a significant part of Maryland's corrections system for over a century. Established in the mid-19th century, the facility was originally built to house inmates temporarily awaiting trial, sentencing, or transfer to other institutions. Its designs reflected the penal philosophies of its time, emphasizing confinement and control. Yet it evolved minimally over the decades, leading to a facility that was increasingly outdated and unstable for modern correctional needs. Located within Baltimore's urban landscape, BCDC was a central point in the city's criminal justice system. Its close proximity to city courts and the downtown area was intended to streamline inmate transfers and facilitate court appearances. However, this location in the densely populated, economically disadvantaged neighborhoods of Baltimore also introduced unique challenges. The facility's connection to the complex social issues, including poverty, crime, and gang culture, meant that BCDC was often filled to capacity, facing constant pressures from the high volume of individuals entering the justice system. With a city notorious for its high rates of violent crime and drug activity, the jail's population included many individuals connected to these issues, further adding to the facility's challenges. Structurally, BCDC's infrastructure became a focal point of criticism, designed in an era when inmate populations were far lower and the demands of corrections were different. The facility was notorious for cramped spaces, poor ventilation, and outdated security measures. These physical limitations led to health and safety concerns for both inmates and staff. The lack of air conditioning and poor hygiene standards were recurring issues, with overcrowding exacerbating the problem, especially during summer months. Civil rights groups regularly voiced concerns over the conditions at BCDC, labeling them inhumane and unsuitable for maintaining order or security. Despite numerous reports calling for improvements of Baltimore City Detention Center's outdated and limited resources made reform difficult. The physical layout of the facility With its labyrinth of corridors and limited sightlines, it made effective supervision challenging, creating blind spots and other security risks. Over time, BCDC's structure, combined with its position in Baltimore's social landscape, placed immense pressure on the facility and staff, making it a uniquely troubled institution within Maryland's correctional system. Daquan Wallace, a former inmate at Baltimore City Detention Center, received a $7 million settlement after a brutal 2014 attack that left him paralyzed. Wallace was allegedly targeted by members of the Black Guerilla Family after he refused to join. According to his attorney, Larry Greenberg, correctional officers reportedly allowed gang members access to Wallace's cell, where he was left alone and unprotected. The gang members entered his unlocked cell, attacked him, and left him severely injured, with permanent physical impairments. Wallace retains limited use of his left hand and struggles with ongoing health challenges. Maryland's Attorney General cited plenty of negligence on the part of correctional staff, with Corrections Secretary Carolyn Scruggs confirming that no disciplinary actions were taken against the officers involved. The incident prompted changes, including expanded background checks and additional staff training, as corrections officials acknowledged the system's past failures. Maryland State Treasurer Derek Davis expressed frustration that taxpayer funds were used for the settlement, calling it unacceptable behavior on the part of those responsible. Wallace's settlement underscores the legacy of issues within Baltimore City Detention Center. Although many of the inmates here were arrested for violent crimes, the closure of Baltimore City Detention Center in 2015 marked the end of one of Maryland's most notorious correctional facilities. After years of scandals, human rights complaints, and failed attempts at reform, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan announced the facility's permanent shutdown, calling its conditions deplorable and unfit for housing inmates. BCDC had long been criticized for overcrowding, poor sanitation, and rampant gang influence that had spiraled out of control, especially after the 2013 scandal involving the Black Guerilla Family. For many, the decision to close Baltimore City Detention Center was overdue, as the facility's challenges had become insurmountable, and its presence within Baltimore's cityscape was increasingly seen as a liability rather than a solution. While Baltimore City Detention Center's closure was celebrated as a positive step towards addressing these issues, it also left Maryland's correctional system with new challenges. The detainees were relocated to other facilities, like the Chesapeake Detention Facility, shifting the burden to nearby institutions already strained by limited resources. Thank you for watching Chasing Crime, where we uncover the hidden stories behind America's most notorious prisons. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more in-depth looks at the prison system and the stories behind the walls. Stay safe.